Here we go with the Tri-State Audi Knicks postgame show. The Knicks and the Wizards tonight. Julius Randle, 18 points, 17 rebounds. Knicks go up by 15 with 4 minutes to go, and back come the Wizards. Remarkably, Kyle Kuzma on fire. They're within 1 with 40 seconds to go. They're down 3. Last chance. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope for overtime. No. And the Knicks, who have had so many heartbreaking losses, hang on for the win this time as they beat the Wizards 100-97. How's everybody feeling now from our Delta MSG studios? Bill Pito and Alan Hahn. Of note, Atlanta, without Trae Young and without John Collins, beat Memphis tonight. So the Knicks jump over Washington. They are now 11th in the East, but still 5 games out of the 10th spot.
Right.
Charlotte didn't play. Hey,
with
they won
games
the game.
to go.
Right. They played excellent basketball through this stretch, and they were able to hang on tonight.
Yeah, you just continue to love what you're seeing out of Emmanuel Quickley, out of the bench. And R.J. Barrett, by the way, you watched that last play there we showed you in the rejoin. How about his defense on that final play to stay down, to not give up an easy look for Caldwell-Pope and not foul as well. So R.J. Barrett didn't have a great shooting night, made 2 big free throws. Free throw shooting, a huge story once again for the Knicks in this game. So just good to see again, even when you're not playing well, still making big plays when it matters most.
And we talk about the development of the young players, and one of our themes has been Emmanuel Quickley.
Yeah.
And he had another excellent game, and he was really important in the first half when the starters were a little shaky. But Quickley really, and I keep talking, and I'm wrong when I say this, because I always say, is he the point guard of the future? The organization looks at him as a combo guard. They don't care. Tom Thibodeau says he's a combo guard. So he's just a guard. Whether he starts or not, he's a vital component of the team and of the future, regardless of if he is the 1 or the 2.
Yeah, when we think about point guards, we think about the classic, playmaker or the classic floor general, the Chris Paul. That's really a dying breed, really. In the NBA, you see more combos, more scoring guards. But I love the way Quickley has developed into a player who comes in the game and the rest of the group feeds off his energy. The Wizards were playing a zone early in the game, and the Knicks' offense was going nowhere. They were getting frustrated. They were taking a lot of jump shots. Quickley entered the game with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and the game flipped. Why? Reasons like this. Because he can get around his one-on-one, get into the paint. He can make the defense move. And his vision is getting better and better and better as he sees passes like that. He sees lobs. He has had, and by the way, 1 turnover. Again, that's also a big stat.
So look at the stats. Look at the free throw shooting. The Knicks, 28 of 36 for the game from the line, and critically, a perfect 14 of 14 from the line in the fourth quarter. And we're now joined by Emmanuel Quickley across the street in our Squarespace studio. Emmanuel, congratulations on the win. What's it like when you have that big a lead, 15-point lead with about 4 minutes to go, and all of a sudden it's down to 1 in the final seconds? What's it like to go through that type of experience?
I mean, I feel like we're prepared for it. Washington's a really good team. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. They're well coached. Obviously, they're really talented at shooting threes and things like that. So we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. We had to, play all 48 minutes, and I think we did that. Came down to the last possession.
Hey, Quick, where is your game right now? Because since the All-Star break, you have been playing a lot more free and have been very effective.
Yeah, just trying to slow down a little bit, calm my mind down. Great teammates, but just working every day. I live by that, trusting God, working every day. That's always been my motto, and results are coming in, so I'm going to keep doing that.
And also, with you, and we've been talking about this since Summer League, wanting to be a point guard, proving you can be a point guard. Did you have to adjust? Did you change something since the All-Star break, or is it just starting to click?
Really just watching a lot more film. Like I always say, whether I'm a point guard, shooting guard, center, it really don't matter. I just try to be a basketball player at the end of the day. And, I'm just trying to do that. So,
hey, Quick, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Appreciate you.
As you mentioned, only 1 turnover and also getting to the line. I mean, he really helps himself.
Best free throw shooter in the league.
9 out of 9 tonight.
9 for 9, made some free throws big. Also very important in that fourth quarter. You've heard it already. 14 of 14 for the team in that fourth quarter. That's why they held on to win.
All right, and Quickley led a second quarter turnaround for the Knicks. They had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. They're down by 6, but they outscored the Wizards in the second quarter by the count of 32-19 with Quickley leading the way.
Yeah, he came in and gave you 10 points. And like I said, he came in even in the first quarter, and you just saw the offense look different, and he all on attacking. He's getting those fouls again. He's getting to the free throw line. Remember, early in the season when they made the rule adjustment, he struggled a bit at the beginning, but as he just told us, he watches film and he learns from film every day. And you can see he's a student of the game, getting better and better. The Knicks offense just started to click. The younger group, too, when he comes in, R.J. Barrett comes in, you know, you could just see those younger guys. Sims, his energy. Obi comes in. And Quentin Grimes, by the way, who returned from the injury, also came in and gave you a lot of good effort plays. That's what got the Knicks going. It obviously got the building going as well, because it was a little quiet early on. There was some frustration with some of the misses early. The Wizards couldn't miss a shot early in this game, Bill. And remember, they were 58% in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it dropped to 38%. So the Knicks defense got better, and the offense did as well.
I think it's really interesting, the second unit, with R.J. Barrett, the lone starter.
All the young guys.
And then you have Jericho Sims, Quickley, Grimes, topping with R.J. Barrett.
And the fans will love to see it. It's the young guys watching them grow.
You can see the difference in the pace.
Sure, yeah.
And it's a much more up-tempo, high-octane vibe.
It's a lot different look when you have Julius Randle on the floor, because Julius Randle's going to get into ISO. He's going to take the ball. He's going to get his matchup. They might switch a few things. And then obviously with Evan Fournier out there, he's a spacer knocking down threes, but it's not a lot of ball movement. It's not a lot of people movement. But that group, they love to run. You're going to see a lot more pick and roll. Obi Toppin trying to get some lobs. You're going to see a lot more activity, and they're going to get out on the break as well. I credit that to Quickley. I think he's bringing that energy, but also R.J. Barrett. When he's the main guy with that young group, even though he's the youngest guy, you can see him a leader. He's a leader with them. He talks to them in the huddle, and he's a little more assertive with the ball instead of when Randle's out there and he has to defer.
By the way, Barrett, 18 points, an indication of where his game is. He scores 18 and shoots only 6-22 from the floor.
Yeah.
Didn't shoot well, still scores 18 points. And how about Mitchell Robinson? Alan, we always talk about Robinson's rebounding, but right after the opening segment of our game broadcast, we came on and showed Mitchell Robinson's offensive rebounding numbers. I don't think people realize, because we don't talk about it, I didn't realize, he's got the second most offensive rebounds in the entire league, and that was before he grabbed 10 more offensive rebounds tonight. Second most behind Steven Adams in the entire league.
What do you mean we don't talk about it? It has been one of my stats to watch so many times with him. Absolutely.
The offensive rebounding?
Yes.
I apologize. Maybe I've been tuning you out. I apologize.
You don't watch that stat to watch, do you?
I apologize.
You tune that out.
Maybe I had the volume down.
Because what we talk about is with him, it's also it's offensive rebounding percentage, which he's one of the best in the league. Now, rebounding percentage is the percentage of rebounds you get when you're in the game. And that's a big number because, remember, he's not a 35, 38-minute-a-night guy, but he's very active on the boards, and he gets you all those extra possessions that are important for a team that might be struggling with their shooting. And that's what he does, and we know he can finish elite around the rim, and that's certainly what he does. But he cleans up a lot of these misses, and when you have two guys go 6 for 22, there's a lot of misses, and he was able to get them.
Randle went 6 out of 22 as well.
Yeah, two guys. Now, the other thing here, too, with Mitchell Robinson, to keep in mind, the 10 offensive rebounds, that's a huge part of it. His activity will keep their bigs from being able to double because you got to put a body on him. Somebody's got to hit him because he's dominating the glass. So when he takes advantage of the fact that the doubles are coming. But let's also remember, on the other side of this, the flip side is the Knicks in their rebounding also kept the Wizards from getting extra chances. They only got 3 offensive rebounds in this game. So as they started to miss shots, they weren't getting second-chance opportunities. Now, it wasn't all Robinson. It was a team effort, including Julius Randle had 17 rebounds in this game. But that's an important stat. Those second chances, especially late in games when you're tired, very important.
All right, of note, Evan Fournier, you touched on him.
Yep.
5 more threes. He's now at 206. John Stark's single-season record. You get very emotional about that.
I can't believe John Starks has had that record for that long.
217 and 94-95. So Fournier's 11 away from tying Starks.
Yeah, you expect him to get it done.
Yeah, we get 12 games left.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
right?
what I mean, yeah.
All right.